Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Welcome back to Tech Garage. It's the Master Technician Tech Tip time. Say that 3 times fast. Hey, it's all about the voltage drop. Don't freak out. Volts will simplify it for you. Let me show you why I don't like to use resistance to measure voltage drop. Well, I got these 2 wires here, and I'm going to switch over to ohms of resistance right down here. And I got these 2 wires. This one here, well, it's all frayed up. You would think this thing is full of resistance, but if I go across it, we've done this before on the show, pretty amazing. If I go across it right there, you can see I got about 0.2. That's not a lot of ohms of resistance. You would think you have a ton, but you're sure not going to pump any amps through that. Now, what's the difference? Here's a brand new wire. And if I go across this one, you can see, 0.1, 0.2, almost the same thing, no difference. Why? Well, the amps have to go through there, and if they can't go through there, it's going to burn it. So you don't want to use resistance, especially on high voltage circuits. Well, what do you want to do then? How about voltage? Use voltage in a term called voltage drop. Look at the meter. There's 2 ways to measure voltage. The first one, we're up at the top of the circuit down to ground. That's voltage at a point. But the second one over there, that's actually voltage drop. It's completely across the resistance or the load or whatever's going on in the circuit. So if you had a voltage drop there and you're not supposed to, that's a problem. You don't want more than 0.5 of a voltage drop, 0.2 on the ground side, 0.3 on the positive side, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now, here's what's going on. See the light bulb there? It's actually going across the light bulb. That's dropping 6 volts. That's really not good. It should have dropped 12. Why did it drop 6? Look at the bottom, there's 6 volts right there in that wire. Well, it dropped 6 volts in that corrosion or resistance, and the light bulb only had 6 volts left, so it didn't burn bright. Not a good thing. Now let's do it on our charging system right here on the car so you can get a look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to volts, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the positive here over to the positive, but the car has to be running. Then I'm going to go from the negative here to the negative. So I'm staying on the same side of the circuit, and we're going to watch the meter. We don't want any more than about 1/2 volt. We got Benjamin inside the car. Benjamin, will you crank it up for us? Positive. About 0.5. There's a little bit there we'd have to address. Negative. About 0.1. So we would want to look at that positive side and see what's going on. But you know, it's a simple test. It's not as scary as you think it is. Get out there in your driveway and give it a try. Hey, for a few more tips when it comes to batteries and electrical, Tom and Dave has us covered.
Tom Taylor, I was on RockAuto.com, and I wanted to see how old of a car I could find on there. And I looked back and found a 1909 Model T, I think some engine gaskets and some bearings for it and stuff like that. And I'm just amazed. There are parts on RockAuto.com ranging over a century, yet you guys still manage to keep up with the modern technology and all the latest. What are some of the things right now that are new on the market that RockAuto.com has?
One of the newest things is the start-stop technology. You come to a stoplight, you stop the car and the engine turns off. And the car manufacturers want to make that as seamless as possible so the car doesn't stutter, your air conditioning doesn't get hot.
The first days of those, if you had a rental car that had that, you're like, what happened to my car?
Right. One of the things they did was add a second battery to some of their engines, and it like they're on some Jeeps and Chevys, Mercedes, BMW. A good way to tell if you have this second battery is look under electrical battery at rockauto.com, and you'll see if you have an auxiliary battery choice among the bigger batteries that cost more. There'll be a smaller battery that costs less. That's the auxiliary battery. That's a clue that you have a second battery for your start-stop system. You can also look in the owner's manual to see, and look in the big owner's manual, not the smaller one, because the smaller one may say you have an enhanced battery, and it's like, yeah, that means a whole separate battery. So yeah, it takes a little research to find out where this second battery is.
Spanning a century of automobiles, RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need.
Repair, check. Verify repair. Not so quick, Dave. Let me reach in here and see if we can get this thing running and see how easy it turns. Whoa, 1 finger.
Beautiful.
That's a 1 finger electric steering column. Dave. You are the man.
I'm not the man. Rock Auto supplied the part that enables you to turn that with one finger. So we got the job done.
No doubt about it. It's been a common theme throughout the season, man. A lot of electronics built into these cars. I mean, it gets a little bit scary.
It's a little bit scary, but it's cool. You know, you think about how far cars have come, even since we were kids. You know, everything was manual. You had manual window cranks and everything, and didn't even have air conditioning or anything. And now everything's electronic. You've got electronic power steering, the window controls, everything. And the seats are controlled with electronics. These cars are loaded with them, and it's intimidating, but at the same time, I love learning new stuff. So, you know, as that stuff rolls out, you get to learn all these new technologies. That's why I love hanging out here at Tech Garage.
Absolutely. We had 255 AC. 2 windows down at 55 miles an hour.
Exactly right.
That was about
yeah.
it. But you know, it was a great show. That electric steering column, wow. I mean, cutaway and the insides of it. No control of the steering column scares me a bit, but you know, there's
no
more.
direct link, you mean?
No direct link, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm just turning the wheel and the computer's moving it, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's more fail-safe technology built into that than when it was hydraulic.
Well, and they do airplanes fly-by-wire now, and
Hello.
It's pretty reliable technology these days. That's pretty remarkable in and of itself.
Absolutely. Well, we had a great time today. I sure hope you did. Garage Ed, that was phenomenal with the service and the suspension service. We learned a ton, man. Put a voltmeter in our hand on the charging system, voltage drops. I think everybody's getting comfortable with a voltmeter. It's pretty cool. Highly technical, but always informative Tech Garage. Hey, make sure you're with us because we'll be back next week with more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola was ranked recently as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.